and we heard that big directive and determination by the CBN governor to ensure strict compliance, not just from the BTC, because later on we did hear some news about executive of Binance and all of that. We haven't heard from the government, neither we heard from Binance, but we have seen that the peer-to-peer feature on Binance has been disabled, and we know that that was brought in when the CBN had said that banks cannot, or investors or cannot interact with bank directly when it comes to crypto. So now we wonder what investors are doing. But let's see the numbers right. Bitcoin had gone as high as 63,000. Now we see it in the red at 62,000. I wish I could have the numbers, please. 62,119.76. It's lost 0.61% in just about 24 hours, because yesterday we had about 63,000. Ethereum is also in the red, 0.87% in the red, 3,425.15. But only Solana, and then BCH, there's Bitcoin, and then all of these other small ones we can see. But the major coins are splashed in red at this time. I wonder what's driving this, if this is a Nigerian thing. I don't know. Okay, so now let's talk to Solomon Amunde. Perhaps he can tell us what's going on. Hi, Solomon. Good afternoon. I wonder what's going on in the mind of the crypto community at this time. Binance is not getting it easy from the Nigerian government.
Good afternoon, Ini. A lot is actually going on. Most persons are panicking, but it's not as bad as it was in the first quarter of February 2021, when the government first banned banks being the intermediaries when it comes to buying and selling of crypto, which was what made most persons to switch to peer-to-peer. So it's not that bad currently, because people are more informed now and people are more educated. And we have a few persons that are helping guide these people on what to do and what not to do. So it's not as bad as 2021, but generally speaking, it's not so good at the same time, because we have Binance, which is actually one of the biggest exchanges in Nigeria, that the P2P there was actually halted. So it's not really a good thing. But so far, so the people are doing well. They're actually surviving. I mean, it's an opportunity too for other local P2P platforms and some other smaller ones to actually excel and do well.
Yeah, and I learned there's some local ones too, some local platforms. But I mean, it still boils down to the issue of regulation and relationship between the crypto world and the government. I guess by the time both parties sit down, have an agreement like the US is doing, they're constantly regulating Binance and crypto activities, then there'll be more trust and less of the shocks.
Yeah, I totally agree. But another thing again is this, governments cannot actually regulate or track P2P. It's almost impossible. Like if you understand the true concept of P2P, it's impossible actually for government to track the P2P market and understand what is going on in the market. But if they want to track what's going on in the crypto ecosystem, there's a chance that they can be able to do that. First is by allowing banks to be the intermediaries and letting some persons carry out some of these transactions with their debit card. That would help a long way. At least they can have an insight to what is really happening. But for the P2P, I'm afraid they won't be able to track that or ban that. The best shot is working with the banks and allowing them to work with investors and traders to carry out transactions and activities, which, as you can see in the US, they are gradually trying to make that possible. Most banks have been pushing to have access to custody and let their customers to be able to buy these assets and transact with these assets with these banks. So they're trying. I believe once the US, they give the go-ahead, the SEC gives the go-ahead to the US banks, it's only a matter of time. Other countries will fall in line.
So, Solomon, how would you react to the conversation that, crypto, Binance in this case, which is the most popular, the most populated, has been used for money laundering and shady activities? How do you react to that as a stakeholder in the crypto community?
I would say that is 100% possible. CZ himself admitted that Binance was used to carry out shady activities and money laundering activities in the US. If they did that in the US, I mean, it's 100% possible they also did that in Nigeria and also other countries. It's very, very, very possible. The fact he admitted, and there were proofs backing that up in the US, that they did that, then talk more of Nigeria. It's 100% possible that they've been doing that in Nigeria. Well, I wouldn't say that is what has caused our Naira to lose so much value. That's the area that I would say it's not the fault of Binance that the Naira is losing so much value. It's actually demand of dollar and people being able to get this dollar as stable coins and willing to pay whatever the premium is to get that. That is what has been driving the Naira crash again, because once people are eager to get something and they can't get the physical dollar, but they can get the stable coin, and they're willing to pay whatever it takes, because with the stable coin, they can carry out their transactions and make payments and do all sorts of stuff. That is where the issue is coming in. That is where the issue. So the government should be looking at how to make it easy for people to get the actual dollar, and also other ways to boost our economy so that the Naira can actually gain strength. Else, it's be a free fall.
Yeah, we hope it doesn't stay that way. What would you say is an ideal regulation for Nigeria at this time? We know that, I mean, you have people like you, investors, who depend on activities in the crypto space to earn their living. But we also know that it's been abused. You know, the platform has been abused. So what would you say would at least close to an ideal regulation to find a balance for everybody?
They should start by allowing banks to be able to process crypto transactions freely, and they should be able to allow banks to do that. And that way, banks can have an idea of the inflow and outflow. Then they should be able to find a break-even point where they can be able to, like, should I use the word merge? The bureau de change guys that exchange the physical dollar and the exchangers that also exchange the stable coin. You get the ones that do good volume. They should have a way to harmonize both parties so that we can have a common understanding. Because like I said, if the bureau de change, the ones that exchange the physical US dollar, even if they peg their price at 1.4 or 1.5, and people are rushing to buy the stable coin, and the bureau de change guys see the stable coin flying to 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, it's only natural for them to also increase the price of the physical dollar to match with that of the stable coin. So most times we find out that it's demand and supply playing out. So I would say they should find a common ground where they can harmonize these two parties, the big players especially, where they can harmonize them, and we can start from there to discuss on ways that this can be made possible. But banning is the worst way to go about it, and blaming cryptocurrency or P2P is not going to help in any way either, because it can't be stopped. No matter the kind of bans you put in place, people would always find a way to get stable coins. That's the whole idea of cryptocurrency. So that wouldn't yield any positive result at all. It wouldn't.
Now, looking at the price of Bitcoin, we see, I thought the surge was on, but we see a tapering in the price. What's going on? What do we expect for the weekend?
Bitcoin price is overstretched, that's overpumped, and no doubt we've had lots of bullish news, both from the US, the SEC, the ETF volume has been growing every week, every day. It's been flying. So I would say right now we're just consolidating. Personally, today is the 1st of March. I would say the month of March would be like the first red candle we'll be seeing in the last 6 months. So I'm expecting this month to be like a red candle. What that means is the price of Bitcoin would most likely close less than it started this month. So that's my own bias. That's what I'm expecting. So moving on, I expect Bitcoin to consolidate over the weekend. Mid-month, we might still see a spike up, maybe to try breaking the all-time high of around $69,000. We should see that. Then afterwards, if we're unable to break that, we're going to correct. But if we're able to break that, we might make a new all-time high of around $75,000. So I'm still on the lookout. But generally speaking, the market is bullish. The sentiments are actually bullish. And we have lots of institutional investors looking to gain more opportunity in the market and exposure to their clientele.
All right, Solomon, thank you so much for sharing your views with us.
Thank you very much, Amy.